Today we're working on a 2002 Honda Civic EX model. Changing out the rear hub assembly bearing. This procedure is good for all 2001 through 2005 Honda Civics, all models. Basic tools I like to use is my impact. You need a 19mm to get the load nuts off. You need a flathead screwdriver, copper hammers, a 32mm socket which takes off the spindle nut, which is underneath here, and to get to the spindle nut you have to wedge a screwdriver between them two things and beat it. Once you get it separated pretty good, you can pry it off, and there's your spindle nut. You would need your 32mm socket, comes off pretty good with the impact. Next, you would have to take off your rotor cap. This one's already kind of loose because I recently had to change my back bearing, but there was a defect in it, so I'm having to change it again. But if this thing was stuck on one or two things, make sure your parking brake is off. And the next thing, what I like to use is one of these pro bars, and what I do if it's stuck, I try to wedge it in between here if I can get into it, and hit it with a hammer until I'm able to get into it, and then spin the rotor. Just continue doing that. Then you pull this hub off. And then you got your hub assembly, and all you do is pull it out. And normally very easy to get out. Get in here. This one's loose, got play in it. It shouldn't have no play at all. That's only been in a couple of days. But it lifts up some. Some may have a little bit of play in it, but it shouldn't really have much play at all. New wheel bearing. You can don't have much play in it at all. Shouldn't make no noise. To put this on, you can, if it's rough, just file it down with sandpaper. You can put a little bit of bearing grease around here if you want to make it slide on a little easier. But if your old bearing, if it didn't pull off like this, sometimes the back side, if it's real bad, it'll get stuck right in here, and for you to be able to get that out, you got to do one or two things. You got to get a screwdriver or something behind it and kind of hammer, get a little crack between it, be able to pull it off with a hammer. But in some cases you have to take a little saw wheel, cut it at an angle to get it off. But like I said, this one came straight off. And to get it on, if you want to, you can put grease in it, if you want to or not. I've already cleaned my brake pad area the other day whenever I had this off the first time, but it'd be a good time to spray brake cleaner in here and get all the dust and stuff off. But once you're ready to put this back on, you just take it, slide it on. It should have slipped right on. Take your nut, You want to get technical. Most impacts, if you got a good one, dude, it's 134 foot-pounds. So you set your torque for 134 foot-pounds. That's already at 134. Some people like to smash the little dimple in, but I don't do it because most of the time it's not going to come off anyway at 134 foot-pounds. But if it makes you feel safer, you can do it. But I already had thread lock in the inside of this boat anyway. But as many times as I did this, I know it ain't going to come off. If it does, like I said, you can use your thread lock. Simple to put back together. Slides it right back on, and that's basically all it is. But like I said, most of the time when a wheel bearing's bad, it makes like a woo 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 noise. And as you get faster, it gets worse. And then in some cases you hear that low speeds driving, and the faster you get on if the rear one's bad, the faster you get, sometimes it kind of blends in with the road noise. But you most definitely know if you got one that's bad by it making noise. This one that I replaced is a DriveWorks, which is the house brand at Advance Auto. They're decent. I've installed 4 or 5